Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We're having a bit of a boring week on the farm, trying to tidy up loads of loose ends after we finish drilling, pre-emergent spraying, weaning the calves, you know, you've seen it all. So I thought it was a good time, and backed by popular demand, because you guys keep asking about it, that I introduced a part of the farm that we've not yet spoken about. The chickens. We do pasture raised eggs on our farm, and those chickens reside in that trailer, and inside that trailer is a scratching tray, and it needs cleaning out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean that tray out, then I'm gonna talk you through how this trailer works and why we do the eggs like we do. So let's crack on. Right, all done. So as you can see, we've got the scratching tray down there underneath these perches. We have to put that in as part of the APHA rules. If you want to sell eggs to farm shops and things like that, you have to have the scratching tray. We don't sell them to farm shops at the minute, but we thought we might as well do it while we're at it. At the back, you can see the nest boxes. I'll show you those in a minute from the other side, but we have them pretty private. They want them pretty dark in there so that they can sort of get away from everything. And we have the perches up here on an angle, and there's enough perch in there for about 120 hens, although the shed is only really permitted for about 80 odd. We also have a mesh floor in here, as you can see, because we want as much muck as possible to go through and back onto the grass. This is a 1-inch mesh. I think it's probably slightly on the tight side. You do have to watch that it doesn't bung up under the perches and things. Ideally, a 1.5 inch. I'm not sure that 2 might be too big, but I think 1.5 would be bang on. These perches in front of the nest boxes can actually shut up, and they latch from the outside out there, and that means that you can exclude them when they're young so that they don't sleep in the nest boxes. We've got one in there now. Hello, gal. How are we doing? Obviously, we've got a tin roof, as you can see there, and we have these windows. Although we don't actually really alter the windows that much, we'll let them down if it gets really hot in the summer, and we bring them right up in the winter, but other than that, they pretty much stay where they are. If you couldn't tell when I was putting it in, the scratch tray has straw and sawdust chopped up and put in there, and what we will do is we'll add some ash from the fire in the farmhouse as well, because ash is a really good natural way of getting rid of red mite. Right, I've moved the fork truck out of the way so that you can see this shed properly. As you can see, it's on quad bike wheels, and there's a metal chassis under there so that we can tow it around and move it around the field. And on top of that metal chassis, there is a wooden frame, which is what you can see there in black. And that black is bitumen paint, and it's really good at stopping all the muck from rotting the wood. And it's worked really well, actually. The wood's still in really good condition. We painted all the metal frame with it as well. So as you can see on the drawbar here, that's why that is black. We have obviously a couple of prop stands to hold it up because there's a bit too much weight for just the jockey wheel. And when we want to, we'll just move it around. At the front here, we have a mesh ramp, which is hinged. So when we want to move it, we can just pick that up, lock it in place, and the chickens can't get out. And it's really good as well because we've got this automatic door. It means we don't have to play with the automatic timings on the door. We can leave that, just lift the ramp up, and they can't get out even if the door lifts up. This door leads straight to the inside where the scratch tray is underneath the perches, and it's a Voss Farming chicken door. And it's a brilliant bit of kit. It works on this light sensor so that when it gets dark, it'll automatically shut, and you can take this off, and inside there is all controls, so you can change the sensitivity and stuff. So it's really good. You can also put that to set to normal times as well if you want to just set it, say it shuts at 10 o'clock every night. You can do that if you want to, but I like it on the light sensor. Now the roof all slants this way, and I want to put a guttering along there and do something so I can harvest the water to feed the chickens, so it's a bit more self-sufficient, but I haven't got around to it yet. And in the back here is where we have our nest boxes, and we can access the eggs. So we'll go in there now and pick a few eggs. If we were on MTV Cribs right now, they'd say this is where the magic happens. I've just propped the lid up so I can show you inside how it works. We've got this shelf at the top, which I keep a few spares on. I keep some egg trays up there. I keep in the box, I've got some bits and pieces to add into the water if we feel the need dosing for anything. And all of the eggs run on this roll away nest box. As you can see by Babs in here, she's just demonstrating how it works. So she sits there. When she lays her egg, it will roll down and join these guys down here. As you can see, we've added some astroturf to this part of the nest boxes as well, because that bit where the chickens are is I think at 14 degrees and it's too steep. That's what they told me to make it at, but it's not quite right. So we've made this bit a bit less steep just to slow the eggs down a bit, and that's what the astroturf is doing as well. It's just stopping them coming down here at lightning speed and smashing into each other. This bottom half of the door too will fold down so that you can put your trays on and load them up, but these girls have started getting a little bit canny to it and they'll jump on it, so we try and keep it up as much as possible. Right, so while we're here, we'll collect these eggs up and then I'll talk you through how grazing and rotating them works. Come on! If you're wondering what these sheds were before, they were actually pasture rearing sheds, and I've repurposed them and put them on this chassis just for this job. I probably ought to point out that there is a solar panel as well, which powers the chicken door on that side, and it also powers this electric fencer, so that we have all of these electric fences that are run around the outside on solar power. Inside here, I don't know if you can see, but there's also a light which works off the battery and solar panel too, and that is used on a timer up there, so when the nights draw in, we can extend the day a little bit and just get that bit more layout of the hens. So you're probably wondering, what the hell is the difference between pasture raised eggs and just your bog standard free range eggs? Well, this is kind of like taking free range to the next level. Firstly, they get more space than your average free range hen. I think there's 4 times more space here per hen than what you get in a free range system. Although these chickens are having a pelleted diet through the Monona feeders, like you can see here. We also graze this field with cows before putting the chickens here, which means that there is cattle muck full of bugs and worms that those chickens then can peck through as well, which I suppose gives them a bit more of a natural diet in some respects. That means that when you crack open one of their eggs, the whites are really thick and creamy. You don't get that watery, horrible bit around the outside. And the yolks are deep orange, and you can definitely taste the difference. Thought I'd just show you these drinkers as well, because if you're on farm and you want something for your chickens, this is an 80-kilo mineral tub that I've washed out. I drilled some 6mm holes in it, screwed some nipple drinkers in the bottom, and then I'll just stand it on that little tub there. And perfect, they're away. The chickens go mad for it, and they're dead easy to keep full. Right, now I've got our eggs, we'll take them back to the yard and we'll box them up. Bye. So now we're in the shed, we'll go through these eggs here, make sure there's no cracked ones, chipped ones, or anything like that. If there is some cracked ones, we'll put them to the side. Anything that's good will get boxed into these plastic boxes. We use these plastic boxes because they are lighter, which means you use less lorries on the road. They're not so bulky, which means you get more boxes on a lorry. And they're recyclable, they're made of recycled plastic, and we get people to bring them back to us so we can wash them, clean them, and then reuse them. Once we've done that, we use this little stamp the date onto our Baldy's Farm egg labels, stick them on the boxes, and they're ready to go out tomorrow morning. Right, and there we have it, all boxed up for another day. I actually think that if you're looking for a way into agriculture, pasture-raised eggs is definitely worth looking at. The reason I say that is because you can start small and build up. I started with 50 hens and I had 100% return on my investment in 4 months. 4 months! On top of that, it's pretty scalable too, because I went from 50 hens to 80 hens and I've just bought another 100 because I can't keep up with demand. So we're running 180 hens and every egg is sold through one of 2 honesty boxes. And then once you've made your money back, you could start looking into doing pasture broilers, turkeys. You could do some boxed lamb and buy a few store lambs. You can even do some market gardening if you wanted to. I've just honestly never found something that returns so quickly and so easily. Big obviously isn't always beautiful. So if you're thinking about getting into agriculture, forget about like trying to buy a tractor and go contracting, because the outlay is way too high and what you're gonna have coming in is just not gonna work. Get yourself some chickens, build a hut, start small and keep building. I'm actually just in the process of building a second trailer for the 100 new chickens. So I'm gonna go and get on with that. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like and a subscribe, and whatever you get up to this weekend, have a good one. I'll see you all soon. Bye.